Jayo Vishnupad Paramhansa, Karajagacharya, Satyar Satyashishimada's Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Someone will take them. Okay. Does anybody, you've all heard of Vishnu-Janana Swami? Yeah? No? Some have not heard of him. Okay, well, back in the early days of this ISKCON movement, he was considered by almost everybody in the movement to be the absolute best kirtan leader. And what made him even more special is that he would lead the whole morning program, every kirtan. Mangal Arti, Guru Puja, Tulsi Puja, the whole thing. And then he'd go out on Harinam and lead Harinam for 4 hours, come back for lunch, and lead for another 4 to 6 hours. And he did it every day. Every day. And he never lost his voice. He never got hoarse. And not only that, but everybody in the temple would wake up to Vishnu-Janana Swami playing the harmonium and chanting bhajan. And they would go to sleep hearing Vishnu-Janana Swami playing harmonium and doing bhajan. And everybody used to think, does he even sleep? I mean, he just chants all the time, non-stop pretty much. And even when he spoke, his voice was kind of just, oh, you know, you should become a devotee. Okay. His voice was so alluring, so beautiful, and he had such feeling in his chanting and his speaking. He made so many devotees, and people just fell in love with the Maha Mantra because of him. There's a kirtan, you can probably hear it on YouTube, where it starts out, Prabhupada is there, Srila Prabhupada is there, and Vishnu Janan starts out by chanting. And he sings Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, sings Hare Krishna one time through, and then Prabhupada starts chanting. He takes over. Has everybody ever heard that one? It's on YouTube, you can hear it. And of course, everybody loved Vishnu Janan, but if you have the chance to hear Prabhupada chant, it's like, whoa, okay, whole different thing. So Vishnu Jan's like, Hare Krishna, this is amazing voice. I'm not even going to try to imitate it. And then Prabhupada goes, Hare Krishna, and everybody in the temple goes, you hear this loud cheer when Prabhupada takes over and starts leading the kirtan. But the thing is, Prabhupada, he loved the way Vishnu Jan sang. And of course, everybody loved the way Prabhupada sang. But Prabhupada would always want Vishnu Jan to sing. He'd always say, when he was in the temple, he'd say, you sing. And all the devotees would go, we hear him every day. Can't you sing, Prabhupada? So this particular kirtan, it's recorded. And so when Prabhupada takes over, everybody in the temple room starts cheering. It's really, you can feel the rush of spiritual energy when Prabhupada takes over this kirtan. But Prabhupada did say about Vishnu Jan Swami, he said, anybody who hears him singing will go back to Godhead. Now, I never heard Srila Prabhupada say that about anybody else, but about Vishnu Jan Swami. Since he had a way of just releasing his heart, releasing the bhakti, the love that he felt for the holy name, every time he chanted. And it wasn't like, oh, he's having a good day today, but yesterday, well, not so good. He was kind of a little off key, and maybe he didn't have it. Every time he chanted, you could feel his love for the holy name and for Krishna. And really, that's what we're trying to do, isn't it? We're trying to develop a love for the holy name and a love for Krishna. Because, well, the holy name Krishna, are they like out here? Are they like opposites? No, they're like this, one. Krishna and the holy name are one. So loving, chanting Hare Krishna means you are loving Krishna. So who loves to chant Hare Krishna? Only some? No, all hands are up? So that means you all love Krishna. End of talk. See you later. But you get it then. The whole idea is fall in love with chanting Hare Krishna. Don't just treat it like, oh, I'm going to chant. Okay, where are those beads? Okay. Okay, I'll do it. Well, he's doing it. So I guess I have to do it. And if you have that kind of attitude, you know what? You still make advancement. You will still make advancement. Even if you're like, I don't have a phone, so I can't do a visual display. But you imagine if I'm holding my phone. I'm going through my Facebook or my YouTube, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Still making advancement. Wow. There's some serious potency in that, isn't there? I can read my phone. I can talk to my friends. I can think about what I'm going to have for lunch. I can plan my next week's adventures and chant Hare Krishna and still make advancement. So you're all making advancement, even though you're not chanting good rounds. But if you chant good rounds, just think about this. Your full concentration is on the holy name, which means you're concentrating on Krishna. Your full concentration. There's nothing else allowed into your mind except for Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Now I can leave. So if you keep laughing, I'm like a little kid. If I crack a joke and you laugh, I'll keep cracking it. You know how kids are like that? They make you laugh once, they'll just keep doing it until you don't laugh anymore. Very simple, I am. So the holy name, how do we develop this love? Well, let's think about it. We really don't have love for Krishna. When we start out in Krishna consciousness, we don't have that love. We may have an understanding we should have that love, but we don't have it yet. So we're supposed to be chanting Krishna or thinking about Krishna 24 hours a day. Is it possible to do that? You guys go to school, work, one of those things, right? You're not just like full-on brahmacharis. You're a brahmachari, right? So you don't go to school, you don't work. You don't go to school, you don't work. You just do brahmachari stuff. What's the brahmachari stuff anyway? No way. Say it again, but loud. He does Harinam and book distribution. What about our 7-foot devotee in the back? Same. Oh my goodness. I am so impressed. Can I join you guys? You can't think of anything better to do. Now, I'll tell you what I do. Harinam and book distribution. Anybody else here do it? Not yet, but you will, hopefully one day. There's actually a very important point there, that this Harinam is a very special activity. The whole movement got started by Harinam, right? So simple. And it wasn't like Prabhupada's flowery words were pulling people in. It wasn't like that. It was Srila Prabhupada playing, you probably don't know the word bongo, but a bongo is like half of madunga. And you just go boom, 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 boom. And there was Srila Prabhupada sitting in a park. Now this park, Tompkins Square Park, you've heard of this, correct? Everyone's heard of Tompkins Square Park. Back in the 1960s, when Srila Prabhupada was chanting there, it was a place where people from Europe, old people from Europe, European countries, they came and they hung out. It wasn't like cool. It wasn't like young, hip people were hanging out there. It was like people from Romania and Bulgaria and Russia, places like that. And they were immigrants. And they didn't speak a lot of English. And there's Srila Prabhupada sitting there chanting. But yet, somehow or other, the mantra was attracting young people who normally didn't go to Tompkins Square Park. But the mantra was pulling them in. And it was Srila Prabhupada's chanting of the mantra that pulled them in. So you want that kind of potency. That if you chant, people become attracted immediately. And that's what we're aiming for. We're trying to be so potent that when we do Harinam and book distribution, people are automatically attracted. Now, I remember doing book distribution. And I'll tell you a story. I hope I didn't tell you this last time. If you did, if I did, just act like you've never heard this before. Okay? I joined the temple after a couple of weeks. I read the Bhagavad Gita. I was like, whoa, now this is pretty impressive. This actually makes sense. And I thought, let me go see what these Hare Krishnas are all about. So I went to Mangal Artik, right? In America, we have that thing, the Sunday feast. Do you guys have that at your temples? The Sunday feast. All the guests come and you act so nice to them, oh, Hare Krishna, welcome, And then, when Monday comes around, if you see, and they're like, yeah, you didn't join, I don't care. Well, in America, that's kind of the way they did it too. If you didn't join right away, is this right? Is this supposed to be under my ears? If this feels really weird, like I've got something wrapped around me. It's not right, is it? Who put this on? Is it you? You guys are sitting there laughing at me. He thinks he's talking right. It's okay, I'm loud enough, and I got lots of mics here, so it's all good. You still playing with it? Yeah. That's fine. Oh, and I have to try to remember where I was. That's one of the problems of being old. I kind of liked having that thing, but it just didn't work. Okay. Can you play back the tape and tell me what I said the last thing? I'm just kidding. I'll try to remember. I'll try to remember. Mongol Arctic. Oh, okay. Is this even on? Yes, it's on. A little bit louder, maybe. So I go to Mongol Arctic. Mongol Arctic, Mongol Arctic. Mongol Arctic. Testing 1, 2, 3, Mongol Arctic. Yeah? The other one was louder, I think. Okay, so anyway, I go to Mongol Arctic. And I'm going to skip the long... Did I tell this last time? No? Oh, maybe I can tell the long version then. You haven't recorded the long version yet, have you? No. Okay. This is one for the Jiva-Natha on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram pages. See, I actually have social media people now. Does that mean I'm important? No. It just means I'm pushy or something like that. Okay. So let me get you there then. Since I haven't told this story, we're not in a rush, are we? You're not ready to go to Prashadam or something? You're going to like start looking at your watches every 5 minutes? No? Okay. So what happened was I was driving down the street one day, and I didn't actually have any desire to be a devotee or anything spiritual for that matter. Now, I've heard so many of my god brothers say, you know, I was looking for my guru. I didn't even know the word guru. I'm not from that kind of a culture. I was just a hippie. I got really tired of doing drugs, and I thought, this isn't working for me. I don't like the material world. What am I going to do? And as I'm thinking thoughts like that, I drive down the street. I stop at a traffic light, and at the traffic light is my old best friend from high school. I haven't seen him in a couple years because I was at a university up here, and he was down here. He went to a different place. I haven't seen him for a couple years. He's at a traffic light. I'm like, what are you doing? He's got a bag with some books and magazines, and he's got a bucket with some candy. So he says, pull over, Joe. It's me. I'm Joe. I pull over. He gives me the candy. And of course, now we're like, you know, this is good. I got candy. I'm happy. So I'm eating my piece of candy. And he starts asking me questions about how's it going, like you do. You know, I haven't seen somebody for a couple years. You know, how's it going, man? Oh, great. How you doing? Oh, fantastic. You know, the usual, not really true, but you don't want to act like, you know, I'm really miserable. You don't want to do that. So you just go, yeah, I'm doing great. Fantastic. Life couldn't be better. Inside, I'm going, I'm so unhappy. And then he starts asking me some questions that were like, you don't ask an old buddy from high school who you played basketball with, you went to parties with, you hung out with the girls with, you don't ask him, are you happy? And I just looked at him like, whoa, what a question to ask me. Don't you remember in high school, I was one of the coolest guys in the whole school? And you're asking me if I'm happy? And I was thinking, you know what? I'm not happy. So I told him, I said, you know what? I'm not happy. And then he says, do you know why you're not happy? Like if I knew the answer, I wouldn't be unhappy anymore, right? So I said, no, I don't know why I'm unhappy. And then he says, because you think you're your body. And I was like, okay, yeah. Well, what am I then? If I'm not this body, which I've been working out for, and you know, oh, that's this beautiful hair too. And what am I? He says, you're a spirit soul. It's okay, that kind of makes sense. And you're trying to enjoy that body, which is temporary and full of misery. And I'm like, okay, you got me so far. That sounds right. And then he pulls a magazine out of his bag. Because at this stage, we're just old buddies from high school talking, me eating candy, and him talking. It's kind of deep, but, you know, not too heavy. And he pulls out this magazine. Now, on the cover, there's this picture of somebody that was very, very bizarre. He had 4 arms. And I'm like, whoa, you know, 4 arms? And why are they putting them, their arms out like this? This is strange. And he just didn't look normal. I mean, we call him Mahavishnu, but to me, I didn't know who it was. So I'm looking at this picture going, wow, this is far out. What is this? And I look down at the bottom. He says, this is the magazine of the International Society for... And I went, you're a Hare Krishna? And he had a baseball hat on. He took it off. He had a shaved head. Sure enough, because he was wearing like regular clothes. He's a Hare Krishna. Now, if I ever saw a Hare Krishna in my hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States of America, if they were on one side of the street, I would make sure I was on the other side. Because, I mean, let's face it, everybody see these two brahmacharis, three brahmacharis, and actually me too, we don't have any hair. And we're wearing sheets. These guys are wearing orange sheets. All you guys are wearing white sheets. Who wears sheets? Who shaves their head? When 1970, man, your hair was who you were. The guy had beautiful hair. It's kind of wavy. Not bad. You know, I look pretty good. There's a mirror. Hold on. And I was thinking, these Hare Krishnas, like, I don't know what planet they're from, but I don't think they're from this one. But this guy used to be my best friend. I know he's not crazy. I know he's not from another planet. And everything he says is making total sense. So I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this. You're a Hare Krishna. This doesn't bother me. I'm okay. So we talked a bit more. And he gave me a Bhagavad Gita. Of course, I gave a donation, but he gave me a Bhagavad Gita. And I was so interested now. I went home and I read the Bhagavad Gita from cover to cover. And it took me a couple days, but I did it. That's all I did was read the Bhagavad Gita. And then he invited me to the Sunday feast. And I said, no, I want to go when you guys are in your real element. I want to see who you really are. So I'm going to go to Mangal Arti. He told me about it. Mangal Arti at 4:30 in the morning. And you have to make a commitment to get up and go to Mangal Arti when you're still this cool guy with really nice hair. You're still that guy, but you really want to see what these Hare Krishnas are about because you like the philosophy. But maybe it's just a little bit too far out for you. So I go to the temple. I get there about 10 after 4, and I knock on the door. It's pitch black. It's dark. No lights are on in the temple. And I knock, and nobody answers. And then I go, okay, maybe this is a sign. Maybe you're supposed to get back in your car. These people are weird looking. I thought, no. I drove an hour and a half to get here. I'm going to knock again. So I knock again. Want to do a knock? Thank you. I knock again. This time, a guy answers the door. He's half asleep. He's wearing no shirt and a little cute dress. And I'm looking at this guy. It's kind of flowery and colorful. And I'm like, okay. The sheets. And almost handle the sheets. But the little flower dress, I'm not so sure about this one. Of course, you know what a gumsha is. I don't know what a gumsha is. Looked to me like he was wearing a dress. So he invites me in. He says, you're a little bit early, but please come in and sit down. So I sit down and he walks away. He says, I'll be right back. And he comes back and then he brings me this white cup, a little cup, plastic cup. And inside the plastic cup is a brown ball. And this brown ball is not like a normal, like a golf ball, but it's brown and it's dripping stuff. Like stuff is like dripping out of it. And I'm looking at it and go, whoa. He says, now take the cup. And I'm like, well, take the cup and what? He says, pour the ball into your mouth. And I'm looking at this thing. It's almost alive. So I say, okay. Okay, leap of faith. I'm ready. Leap of faith. I take the cup and I go, whoa! So what is this? He says, it's called a gulab jamun. I was like, wow. I'm eating this gulab jamun and the sugar. It's at 4:15 now in the morning, and I just had a gulab jamun on an empty stomach. So the sugar's really got me pumped up, and I'm all fired. I'm like, what next? What do we do now? What do we do? He says, just wait there. He says, you're early. Got about 15 more minutes to go. You just sit there. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. 15 minutes. I can sit here for 15 minutes. So, about 10 minutes later, I see everybody running down the stairs, turning and going into what is the temple room. Guys are wearing the different colored sheets. Women have all this stuff wrapped around them. They're running down the stairs as well. Now, the guy who lets me in, he comes and he says, okay, we're going to go in the temple room and we're going to see God. I was like, what did you just say? He says, we're going to see God. I was like, whoa. Really? Because I went to a Catholic school and I used to ask the question, who is God? And they would say, it's a mystery. And I was like, I need more information than that. A mystery. How do you love a mystery? Right? I mean, you're laughing because it doesn't make sense, does it? Yes, I love God. Who is he? I don't know. I want to know. Who is he? You want me to love him? Tell me who he is. So I'm about to go see God. Now, this is pretty revolutionary stuff. Now, I had the Bhagavad Gita, right? So I knew that God was blue. And I knew that he liked to stand on a chariot. Okay, that's my image of God. So I go into the temple room. Now, the temple room is pitch black. And most everybody is walking around in a circle. And they're all just doing whatever they're doing. And all I hear sounds like bees buzzing. I haven't seen Japa thing yet, right? I've only just read the Bhagavad Gita, and of course I had a gulab jamun. But I didn't know what they were doing. And I'm looking at it and go, whoa, this is pretty strange too. Everyone's just going. Okay. So I'm okay now. I've calmed down. I'm watching these guys and girls walk around doing that. Then I hear a noise. And after that, everyone dies on the ground. But me, I'm the only one standing there. I'm thinking, is this like an air raid thing or something? What was that? What was that? There's nobody even for me to ask. They're all lying on the ground. What? What is it? I don't know. And they all get up, and then the curtains open. And now I see God. Yeah. Only he wasn't blue. And he wasn't on a chariot. And there was 3 of them. And they all had really big eyes. One was black, one was white, one was yellow, and they're all just staring at me. And I'm staring back. It's like, I thought he was going to be blue. Who's this? And the guy next to me goes, it's Jiva-Natha, Baladev, and Subhadra. I mean, you got to remember, Catholic school, who is God? It's a mystery. Bhagavad Gita, he's on a chariot, he's speaking. Jiva-Natha, Baladev, Subhadra. I was like, whoa. Okay, whatever. That glove jumping was pretty good. And then the kirtan starts. Now, I mentioned Vishnu Swami. It just so happened that the first time I hear chanting, it's Vishnu Swami. And he had like 25 guys like you. Haribol! They would do that every time he said something, just like you guys are doing. So the kirtan starts. Samsara dava nanavida loka. And I look around and these guys are jumping up and down. It's like, he's just starting. Why are we all jumping up and down? By the time he gets to Sri Krishna, the place is going crazy. Everyone's jumping up and down. They're bouncing off each other. This is like the most ecstatic, wildest kirtan ever. And this is my first kirtan. Now, the Philadelphia temple where I was, it has wooden floorboards. Okay? Do you know what I mean by wooden floorboards? All there, boom, 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 like that. So it's not like this. It's not marble. It's wooden. So wooden has a little bit of play in them. So as everybody's jumping up and down in the temple room, the boards are starting to bounce me. And I'm like, I didn't really want to jump up and down yet, but hey, I'm starting to jump, so here I go. Now, I used to play basketball, and I could dunk, which is not bad for a 6'2" white guy. I could dunk. You know dunk basketball, right? Okay, so I could get up pretty good. And I was pretty proud of myself about that. So I'm watching all these guys jumping up and down. I think, yeah, you want to see somebody jump high? Watch this. I'm getting way up there, and I'm just having the time of my life. I'm loving it. The glove jumping's still working its magic on me. And by the time the kirtan came to an end, I was like, oh, stop. What do we stop for? Come on, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I loved it. And so I thought, this is the life. This is spiritual life. You eat glove jumpings all day long. You chant Hare Krishna. You read the Bhagavad Gita. And then you please your spiritual master by doing Harinam and book distribution. And that was my life. So I moved in. Took me a couple days to organize all my activities and clean up my messes that I'd made and everything. I move in. They sit me down 3 feet inside the door of the temple. They sit me in a chair. This is the best part. And I'm sitting there. Remember I said I had really beautiful hair? I mean, I worked years. It's like down to here. It's wavy. But pretty good. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm going to be a Hare Krishna. And the guy who introduced me the first time is there talking to me. And as he's talking to me, I hear this buzzing sound on my head. Oh, oh, my beautiful. I mean, it took, how many years it took me to grow that, like, I'm all shaved up. I just moved in. I didn't even move in. I just came to the temple with my stuff, and they shaved me up. I'm going, whoa, hey guys, you missed a bit. Maybe they'll get it later, but you don't want to leave like one, long hair thing in the back. Oh, it's a Sika thing. Okay. Oh, everybody has one. All right, I'm okay. So the next day, somebody says to me, because this is a Friday, the next day is a Saturday, and that's a big day for book distribution. So somebody says to me, do you want to go out on Sankirtan? Like I know what Sankirtan is, right? Yeah, sure, I'll do Sankirtan. What is it? So they explained to me that you simply approach people and you offer them these wonderful books. And that's called Sankirtan, or book distribution. So I get in this van the next morning. They give me a book bag, and it's filled with all these small books. And I'm pulling them out. I've never seen any of these books before. They drop me off out of the van. They say, here, you get out of here, Dr. Joe. I'm like, okay. I step outside and I look around. It's like, wait a minute. This is my neighborhood. You're dropping me off in my neighborhood? I just joined yesterday. Who else is getting out with me? Nobody. What do you mean, nobody? I'm here by myself. We'll be back in 8 hours. What? 8 hours? You just shaved me up yesterday. I just moved in yesterday. You're dropping me off in my old neighborhood? Now I'm Bhakta Joe? How do you go? So I'm okay now. Like, all right, this is what you call book distribution. Sankirtan pleases the spiritual master. I'm going to do this. So I start approaching people. My old neighborhood. Joe, what are you doing? Hey, man, I got these really great books for you. This one's called, what is it? The Perfection of Yoga. Here, have it. What's it about, Joe? I don't know. And every book I pulled out, I would say the same thing. Easy journey to other planets. Check this out. What's that about? I don't know. But because I was so enthusiastic, maybe still from the glove gentleman, I don't know. But I was so enthusiastic, I did really, really well. I was getting everybody to take books because I was just like pumped. Like I'm serving the pure devotee of God by doing this activity. I'm going to get a chance to get out of this material world, go back to Godhead. Please take this book. Not just one, take 3. Which one's that? I don't care. Just take anything you want out of the guide. I haven't read any of them. I just joined the Hare Krishnas yesterday. So anyway, the next day is Sunday. And after the morning program, they read the scores from Saturday. And they go up. Like they start, you did 1, you did 5, you did 10. So, and I'm sitting there like, well, these guys, there's 25 devotees in the temple who went out. It's getting up to like 6th, 7th, 5th place. I still haven't heard my name. And oh man, they skipped me. It gets up to number 3rd one in the temple. Highest score, Bhakta Joe. But the thing is, they didn't say Hari Bol. They said Jai. Jai. And I said, no, Joe. And they all laughed, of course, just like you did. But I was serious. Don't call me Jai. I'm just getting used to the Bhakta Joe thing. Now you're calling me Jai? So I was quite happy with my devotional life. And the temple loved me. One day in, and I came in 3rd out of 25 devotees. So, of course, I was really popular. The temple president was like, here, have another glove drumming. Apparently, you really like those glove drummings. Have another one. I was like, yeah, I love the spiritual life. So spiritual life is very amazing if you let it be. And that's key. It's like I made an analogy, and this is an American one. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Does that make sense? So we can say, Lord Chaitanya is giving us all this nectar, but it's up for you to take it. You can just go, that's okay. No, thank you. But if you really, really want to taste the absolute bliss and nectar of Krishna consciousness, you have to go for it. You have to really want it. Just like, we'll bring it back to japa. When you chant japa, you can be allowing yourself to think about anything else you want but Krishna. And you're still going through the process. Or you can say, I'm going to concentrate every little bit of mental and physical energy I have in chanting Hare Krishna. And when you do that, you have pure association with Krishna. And that is ecstatic. Krishna is full of ecstasy. He's so full of ecstasy, he's willing to give you all, as much as you possibly can take. And so it's up to you. You have to take it. Do you want to feel the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness? Really? I mean, you're really serious about that? Right? So did you just notice just then when you went, Haribo, 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 right? How didn't you just build with energy and ecstasy? Yes? Right. So what you put in, that's the energy and ecstasy you get back. So put energy and ecstasy in every activity that you do in Krishna consciousness. Don't hold back. Or you can hold back and you can stay back. You can stay here. Nobody's forcing you out of the material world. You can stay here. It's quite all right. I mean, there's just so many different kinds of births you can choose from. So many different bodies. What is it? 8,400,000 different options you can have in your next life? Isn't that something worth exploring?
No.
No. Heck no. You don't want that. You don't want to come back here. You know, a Vaishnava, one of the 4 regular principles is you don't gamble. Correct? Why would you gamble by saying, if I go back, I go back? Don't risk that. Don't take a chance. Concentrate and give everything you have to Krishna, and Krishna will concentrate back and give you everything he has, which is the spiritual ecstasy. To take birth again, but you got to put the effort in. You can't just say, "Hey, I'm wearing the outfit. Isn't that enough?" No, it's not. You got to put that extra effort in, extra effort to go back to Godhead. But the process is so enjoyable that if you allow yourself to feel the ecstasy going back, it'll just be so much sweeter when you are back. Is book distribution fun? Yes. Is Harinam enjoyable? Yes. Is chanting japa enjoyable? Oh. You didn't say that with much enthusiasm. Because chanting japa is a little bit of a process, isn't it? It's not so easy, is it? Well, I mean, kirtan, come on, anybody. Yeah, Krishna. I mean, that's kind of like, but japa, for 2.5 hours, it's a little bit of a struggle. But if you let yourself just be with Krishna for 2.5 hours of every single day for the rest of your life, oh, you're going to go back to Godhead. Because Srila Prabhupada said, if you simply chant these 16 rounds, does anybody chant 16 rounds here? No way. You all chant 16 rounds? Almost everybody? Almost? Wow. Maya can't touch you. I'm serious. Maya cannot touch you if you are chanting these 16 rounds. Has anybody ever been on Harinam here? Oh, come on. You guys are like, you might as well just go sign up for the Back to Godhead train and plane. You're doing Harinam, you're chanting 16 rounds, you hear Bhagavatam, you don't, wait, no, that's like too much, right? Wow. You're in the association of devotees, you're all vegetarian. Hey, take me with you. You guys are going to go back to Godhead. Do you realize that? Do you want to do it in this lifetime? Now, be honest. Is there anybody here who doesn't think it's possible to go back to God in this lifetime. You don't think it's possible? Honestly. Be honest. Why don't you think it's possible? Since you're sitting right in front, why don't you think it's possible?
The reason I feel it's so difficult is because we have lived so many lifetimes before this, and to cure and eradicate all the anartha accumulated since
So, sorry.
thing is not so pure.
Well, I'll agree with you there. It's not pure. Pure. It's go back to God. But purely, He knows you've been here for a while. He knows lots of births. He knows, but it's sincerity. It's what's in your heart. That's what Krishna is looking for. Okay, I walk through that door. You can't see it. Believe that you go back to God at. Because I mean, if he says you can go back to God's lifetime, you got to believe that. He's associating with Krishna. He's got all the inside info. He knows, yeah, Krishna will take you back. And there are so many instant stories of devotees who have done service and maybe left the movement, and Prabhupada will come for them at the time of death. I can tell you stories that happens. It does happen. So you got to believe that. And you got to believe that this Hare Krishna mantra is the most powerful weapon to get you there. Believe it. And not just believe it, feel it. How do you feel it? You feel it by really chanting. When you're on Hari Nam, don't just go through the motions. Chant as loud as you can. Dance as much as you can. When you're chanting your japa, every time the mind tries to pull you away, Hare Krishna, you chant louder. You block it out. Nobody's saying the mind isn't going to come and try to pull you away. It happens all the time. All the time. But your thing is to say, no, I want this more than you want me to stay here. I want to get out of here. So I'm going to chant the best rounds I can possibly chant. I'm going to be the most enthusiastic devotee this movement has ever seen. And every single one of you can actually make that claim. And you can back it up by doing it. Be enthusiastic. Who's stopping you? Your mind. Do that. That's a little too. People think I'm too into it. What's wrong with being into it? What's the goal? Gotta get out of here. No more material body. No more material world. Just nothing but pure bliss and knowledge of Krishna. Do the homework. This is it. Right now, we're doing the homework. This is it. And the test will come. But you're going to be ready because you're doing homework. And Krishna just wants to see that sincerity. Be sincere about this. You're here. You've already got one foot in the door. Put the other foot in by saying, don't want to be here. Don't want to be in Maya. Don't care about anything in the material world. Just want to be with Krishna. And Krishna, for us, in Kali Yuga, in this material world, is in his holy name. Okay? Hare Krishna. Now, does anybody want to make a comment or a question? You go. Loud.
I wanted to ask, how did you integrate a spiritual principle into your daily life and relationship?
Say it again, slowly.
How did you integrate a spiritual principle?
Ah.
Hare Krishna, audible? How did you integrate a spiritual principle into your daily life and relationship?
Good question. Well, you know, our relationships as devotees should be, the majority of them, Krishna conscious people. Those that are like-minded. So you don't have to pretend. You don't have to act. Now, if you're in the business world, unfortunately, you can't always pick who you're doing business with or who you are working with. But your consciousness should always be focused on why are we here and what is the goal of life. We are here to serve Krishna. If I have to work, I have to work. Everybody has to work. But your consciousness does not have to be deviated into what you're doing. It can still maintain Krishna consciousness. You just can't be like operating a jigsaw going, Hare Krishna, oh, Krishna, Krishna, I see Krishna. Oh, sorry. You want to concentrate on what you're doing? And because that service is given to you, or that job, or that business, or whatever it is given to you by Krishna, everything is coming from him. Thank him for allowing you to do this. You'll do the best you possibly can. And then you're actually doing service. It's Krishna conscious service. If you are in the material world working in a job and your only desire is to enjoy, so that I get a nice big house and I have 2 cars, I have a butler, I have a chauffeur, I just want to chill out and enjoy this material world, that's not Krishna consciousness. But if your consciousness is, I need to work, I have a family, I have to support myself, but I still relish the time I get to be with the devotees, I still relish chanting my japa, whether it's in a car, a bus, a train, whatever it is. Sometimes you have to not be in the association of devotees, but that doesn't mean your consciousness has to be in the association of non-devotees. So keep that consciousness. And the consciousness is inside. It's not something you're wearing outside that you have to, take off. Okay, now I take off my Krishna consciousness and I put on my material consciousness. It's from your heart. And so just keep your heart pure in its desires to just want to serve Krishna, to just want to be with Krishna. I mean, you can do it. It's not easy. Honestly speaking, it's not easy, but you can do it. Because not everybody can live in Mayapur and just be a devotee. Or, it's not that simple. Most everybody has to work, but your consciousness does not have to become contaminated by what you're doing, thinking, I am this body, I'm working for this body, I'm working for these people who say they love me. You're just conscious of simply, I'm doing this because Krishna gave me this job. Krishna wants me to graduate from school. Always think Krishna. You put Krishna in everything, you're safe. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu. So, Roger, you said you made book distribution from a couple of years, and I'm also trying to learn book distribution. So, I wanted to ask, when we approach people to take books, sometimes they show us, or sometimes they're not interested, and then I get motivation. Then it's not working. So, what should we say to ourselves? Then no, continue.
There's a couple different things. My thing used to always be that their hearts have a wall, a brick wall, that they put up to keep Krishna out, to keep Krishna consciousness away. And every time you approach somebody and they say no, or they're rude, or they're not nice to you, I'm knocking one brick off. And maybe that's the last brick. And the next person approaches them maybe in a week or a month or a year or 10 years, that last brick is gone, and then their heart is opened up. So just think it like that. You just knocked a brick off. Good for you. Every time they get approached, they're knocking a brick off. And then eventually that wall's gone. But don't think that, oh no, he said no, I can't do this. Somebody said no. You know, I don't know how the cricket world works, but baseball I know. And they have the thing called the Hall of Fame, which is the greatest players. The greatest players in baseball miss more than they make. In other words, if they get 3 hits every 10 times up, they're considered great players. 3 out of 10. So that means they failed 7 times. And they're considered great. Right? So if you approach 10 people and maybe only 1 person is favorable, maybe that's your odds for greatness. 1 out of 10. And maybe as you get more connected to Krishna, maybe it's 2 out of 10. Or maybe it's a whole day, it's 0 out of 50. But you put the effort in. And then Prabhupada once was asked about that. He said, somebody said to him, so Prabhupada, how do I just keep doing this when people say no, and no, and no, and no? And Prabhupada responded, and I'm trying to remember, I'm mixing up 2 stories. Hold on. That's it. I remember now. Prabhupada responded, how do you keep going when people are saying no? And Prabhupada says, every single time you approach somebody, and he went, he says, you get spiritual credit. He went, he actually made the noise, and he did the finger. He went, somebody. So maybe you don't get the immediate benefit, but you do. Simply by saying, hey, how would you like? No. Spiritual benefit. And then here is the best part. Prabhupada said, do you know why you feel such ecstasy when you distribute one of my books? Either you guys know the answer to this? You brahmachari book distributors? Do you know why you feel such ecstasy when you distribute one of Srila Prabhupada's books?
Share them, Krishna.
It's close. Prabhupada said, you feel fine. Somebody takes one of my books, Lord Chaitanya personally comes and embraces you. I got goosebumps just saying it. I know what that feels like. You've started somebody on their path back to Godhead. Of course, Lord Chaitanya is happy. And if they say no, it's a win-win situation. You can't lose. By simply doing this endeavor, you cannot lose. Spiritual benefit. Take a book. Lord Chaitanya gives you a hug. You can't lose. Right? Somebody else? Great. No questions. Thank you. Can we do a little kirtan? Can I grab those cartels again? Actually, no. Forget the cartels. I'm in it. I'm holding one of these. Do you know what that means? In my element? This is my natural position. I'll give you a secret. I have neck beads here. And everybody thinks on this little thing up here, I don't know if you can see that, it looks like a small kavacha. Where is it? It's not. It's a microphone. I have a microphone hanging from my Tulsi beads. Don't tell anybody. I think I already did. So, okay. I like the rubber band. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare